Welcome to this week's edition of Coach's Corner, where we get to the root of the problem. I'm Laura Johnston, and I'm here to ask you, what is the problem? Leaders need a variety of tools to handle a growing practice and a diverse team. So what is in your toolbox? The key points we're going to cover today are the inner core. What is the inner core, and how does it impact your leadership? What is your outer core, and how does that impact your leadership? And then we're going to dive into the 5 power tools necessary to handle a growing practice and a diverse team. So that's a GPS, goals, priorities, strategies, an action plan, being able to ID the issue, understanding what success looks like, and having a framework for a weekly one-on-one. So in our leadership course, we talk about inner core and outer core and how you should go about developing both so that you can translate your great leadership into real performance. So the inner core leadership, as you see on the graphic, are those 3 inner rings, and they represent a combination of your values, beliefs, self-concept, and character, your thoughts, your emotions, and your behavioral tendencies. All of those together influences how we respond to the world around us. And then your outer core, it compromises that outer ring, those skills that your performance is measured by, such as critical thinking, change leadership, drive for results, decision making. Those 9 outer core competencies are what we think are important to grow a practice, lead a team, and build a bond with your patients. So today we're going to talk about those 5 power tools I mentioned. Master these, and you will have the flexibility to select a leadership response that appropriately is calibrated for the specific person and situation. These techniques are critical to create a team that is led by objective and not by crisis. So the first, your GPS, that's a tool to clarify your team's big goal and to map the path to achieve it. The action plan, of course, is the tool that you need to go from idea to results. Being able to ID the issue, that is a tool that helps you identify the root of the problem for why you're not meeting results. What are the issues at hand, and how can we find solutions to them? And then understanding what success looks like. So that is about being able to see the big picture and help each one of the members of your team know what success is. And then the accountability to that is the one-on-one meetings. One-on-one meetings are so important. They are the foundation for building trust in your organization. They help you to understand the big picture, right? So it gets people's opinions and feedback and ideas and all of that weigh in so that they are bought in and have commitment to the plan. And then there's an understanding that comes with that about how to hold each other accountable, because we know our part in what's expected and we know what is the desired outcome is for everybody. And it is about an outcome that benefits everyone. All right, so where are you now? This is an important thing, as we talk about a GPS, of course, there are a bunch of analogies for utilizing a GPS effectively. Ultimately, though, it starts with where you are. Getting clarity on your starting point. So think about how important that clarity is. Like we stated in last week's training on the huddle board with a vision, this is a good time to get input from your team. Where are we? Great time for a team SWOT analysis where you can identify your strengths, what really is working, where our weaknesses are, what opportunities can we jump on, and what are the potential threats. Then you take this information and you identify some key performance indicators, right? Those KPIs, those goals that we want to measure. We know that you can't improve what you don't measure. So what are you tracking? Why are you tracking it? And who's responsible for it? And how does it impact the bigger picture? So important. And I love using the huddle board as a a framework to keep this information that you've just done on. So I put the flow code there so that you can go back to that training if you didn't have time to watch it before. And then how will you know that you're at success? When your entire team knows and understands the organization's yearly goals. When your team buys into the goal because they've actively encouraged, you have actively encouraged input. And even though you as the leader make the final decisions, it's really great to know that you're heard and that your ideas are considered. And you have the organizational priorities to which you can align your team's personal career goals. So it's not just about what you want. It's a much bigger picture. Building success through others is about having a path for development that keeps our employees from getting stagnant. They know that they have opportunities for personal and professional development. So every year we take time to create our GPS. It's a time to spell out your main business objective. Ask ourselves those three things, like with our goal, what are our three priorities to achieve that goal? And what are the 5 strategies to achieve each priority? This should be a fun team building activity. This is a chance to have lunch together and really thrive in your culture of trust and there might be some productive conflict as a part of that. That's good. Like if somebody has an idea that someone else doesn't agree with, that is such a great opportunity for discussion and it should be encouraged. So then the framework for that one-on-one meeting. Okay, so block time on the calendar, first of all. Otherwise, you will lose sight of it. It should be a regular time. If you have it weekly, great. If you have it twice a week, great. I would not have it any less than once a month. That is probably pushing it. If you really want to have some accountability to the metrics, once a month is not frequent enough. However, if you do use the huddle board, then this is why I love this so much, because then there's accountability to those KPIs on a daily basis. So, but anyway, block it on the calendar. Bring a copy of that GPS to the meeting, so you can discuss the goal, the priorities, and the strategies, and their part in it. And then this is a chance to reflect on last week. What were your priorities last week? How did you do? How did you feel about that? And what are you going to do differently based on the information you just gave? And then plan for the upcoming week. If you could accomplish one thing this week that was the most important, your number one, what would it be? And once you've accomplished that, if you've earned the right to focus on anything else, what is your number 2? And then you do that with each one of the until all the priorities have been listed in order. Such a great opportunity to connect. And this is a chance when priorities are written as a result or vague, ask what specifically can you do to accomplish that. So if their goals for next week seem vague, help them get more specific. And how will you know when you're successful? Help them to understand what their success looks like. And then coach them to overcome some of these distractions. What is that thing that might be the most likely thing to distract you or to keep you from your goals? And have them come up with solutions for that. Such a great opportunity to connect with each of your team members. I can't recommend it highly enough. So join our community at www.s3growth.com, where we have tons of training that will help develop your leadership, help you show up better as a leader, that will help develop your team and help them communicate and be cohesive, and then also to help you with some really great systems, help you identify profit leaks, help you identify risk issues, and how to manage those. There's so much great content on our community, so please join us. We also have courses for leaders, for practice managers, and courses for facilitations for teams on 5 behaviors. So join us, and I look forward to seeing you next week on the next Coach's Corner. And in the meantime, feel free to reach out anytime.